Our contestant number 5, Molly Hamilton. I love soft and shiny objects. I love soft and shiny objects. Molly Hamilton.
Thank you, Madam Contest Chair. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome to all of our visitors that have come to the contest this afternoon. Thank you for coming. Have you ever had the uncontrollable urge to do something that you know you shouldn't do? Were you able to resist the temptation? Or did you do it anyway? Were you happy with your decision? Or did you have regrets? I have found myself in that little predicament before, all because I love soft and shiny objects. And the very best combination of those two is a bald-headed man. I love bald-headed men. And in our Toastmasters group, it's like a gold mine. We have so many. And maybe you have some in your clubs as well. Or maybe you just know someone who is bald. When I think of a bald man, the words that come into my head are handsome, intelligent, kind, mysterious. I think it all stems from a movie called The King and I that I loved as a kid. And there was an actor by the name of Yul Brynner who played the part of the King of Siam in The King and I. And I think he was as well known for his outstanding acting skills as he was for his phenomenal bald head. When I think of a bald man and touching it, I just can't help myself when I see a bald-headed man. That's all I want to do is run over and touch it. Because honestly, there is nothing quite as nice as a freshly shaven bald head. It can be as soft as a newborn baby's bottom. As you can well imagine, this little fetish has got me in some interesting situations. I used to be a singer-entertainer, and one time I was asked to perform at an event where Mikhail Gorbachev was the guest of honor. Mikhail Gorbachev was the former president of the Soviet Union. He was also the man responsible for taking down the Berlin Wall, a very highly respected gentleman. But if you have ever seen Mr. Gorbachev, you would know that he has the most magnificent bald head. And in addition to that, he has a huge birthmark that just screams, "Touch me." I could hardly wait to meet Mr. Gorbachev. The organizer of the event, Mark, a 60-year-old super successful businesswoman who was not only the event planner of this event, but also owned the entire event facility that we were playing at, pulled me aside. And she said, "Molly, I know that you love bald men. And I know you like to have fun with them, but tonight is not the night to do that. I don't want you to do anything that might be possibly considered socially or politically incorrect." Well, of course, I said yes to Mark. I started my performance singing away, and of course I glanced over at Mr. Gorbachev's table, and the lights were reflecting off of his head like those mirror reflectors. You know, the ones that people use to signal from mountaintop to mountaintop, saying, "Over here, over here." Well, it was pulling me over there, over there. And as I was going, I could feel the tension in the room rise. And I saw people whispering, going, "She's not going to touch his head, is she?" They also knew, many of the people in the audience knew that I loved bald men. Well, I resisted the temptation and I turned, and I could feel the tension come down in the room. I carried on again, and again I looked over at Mr. Gorbachev's table, but this time, oh my goodness, The lights were dancing off of his head like a disco ball. And the next thing I knew it, I was being pulled over towards him. And before I knew it, my arm was around him and my hand was on his head. And then the room went silent. And I thought, oh my goodness, what have I done? But then I looked down at Mr. Gorbachev and he was smiling. And I looked at his interpreter and he was smiling. And then the two of them got the case of the giggles. And then they got laughing so hard that they had tears rolling down their faces, which was really good because then the whole audience was laughing and having fun. Except for Mark. Mark reminded me that actions have consequences. Mark had booked me for many performances before that night. That was the last performance I was ever booked for. So what do you do when life happens? A little reflection, of course. All you can do is look at the situation, look at what were the positives, what were the negatives, what might you do the same or differently next time? Learn the lesson, put it in your treasure chest of experiences and move on. For me, have I ever been in a situation where I had an uncontrollable urge to do something that I knew I shouldn't do? Was I able to resist the temptation? Did I do it anyway? Was I happy with my decision? In this case, yes, I was. It was a once in a lifetime opportunity to kiss Mr. Gorbachev on the head, to create a memory to last a lifetime, to have photos that I can look at anytime I want, to have a story that makes me laugh every single time I tell it. Do I have regrets? Yes. I wanted to work with Marg more in the future, but my biggest regret was not taking Marg by the hand, walking her over to Mr. Gorbachev's table, placing her hand on his head so that she could fully appreciate just why I love soft and shiny objects. Back to you, Madam Contest Chair.